Are you watching Current Issues? My name is Vineet Malhotra. The 7th Pay Commission's recommendations were approved by the Cabinet today, throwing open a plethora of questions which only the current government and the Finance Minister can answer. The move, or rather the increment, is the lowest in the last 70 years and intends to nullify the impact of inflation through a multiplier. But such a cash exodus from the coffers of the government will only lead to further inflation in the consumer market or not. We will find that out with our guests. But before we delve into this debate, let's look at some of these reactions and statements.
पे और पेंशन के संबंध में जो रिकमेंडेशंस पे कमीशन की आई हैं, उन रिकमेंडेशंस को बाय एंड लार्ज सरकार ने स्वीकार किया है।
प्रयोग करके भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस उम्मीद में बैठी है कि आने वाले जो चुनाव हैं उनमें उनका बेड़ा पार हो जाएगा। चुनाव उत्तर प्रदेश में है, पंजाब में है, गोवा में है, कई सारे राज्यों में चुनाव हैं और 7वें वित्त आयोग की पे कमीशन की जो सिफारिशें हैं उनको लागू करके मतदाताओं का मन मोहने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। पर असफलताओं का, निराशाओं का जो पहाड़ है वो इन झोंकों से, हवा की झोंकों से कहीं बड़ा है। और मुझे नहीं लगता कि मतदाता जो पिछले 2.25 साल में निराश हुआ है, अच्छा 7वें वेतन आयोग की सिफारिशों के बाद जो है वो इतना खुश हो जाएगा कि इनको मत।
देखिए, आप इसे तोहफा कहते हैं, मैं समझता हूं कि भारत की सरकार ने 7th पे कमीशन पर जो काम और जो उनके प्रति, तो ये उनके अधिकार और जो कानून बने हैं उसका पालन किया।
देखिए, ये तो कोई आम बात है क्योंकि वेतन आयोग का जो स्थिति है वो संविधान में उसका संवैधानिक दर्जा है, इसलिए कोई भी सरकार होगा वो तो करना होगा। आप मीडिया वालों के चलते ये भी एक कामयाबी के अंदर गिनाई जाती है
कि 7वें पे कमीशन की जो अनुशंसाएं हैं उस पर काफी समय से सरकार बैठी हुई थी, कोई फैसला नहीं कर पा रही थी। ये फैसला उसे जल्दी ही करना चाहिए। जो भी फैसला सरकार ले, देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को ध्यान में रखते हुए ले। मैं इस बात के लिए चेतावनी देना चाहता हूं कि ऊपर से ढोल चाहे जो पीटा जाए, लेकिन सच ये है कि आरबीआई के गवर्नर से लेकर के और तमाम अर्थशास्त्रियों ने देश की वर्तमान अर्थव्यवस्था की दशा और बैंकों के अंदर तेजी से बढ़ते हुए एनपीए, नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स पर गहरी चिंता बताई है।
Okay, so the 7th Pay Commission says that it was a move that was already decided. The cabinet had to approve of it, and November 2015 was when the recommendations were made. And necessarily not all the parties who are a part, of the Paying Commission are happy with this move. And to discuss further on this particular development, let's get in a couple of people who really know what the two governments, the Congress and the BJP, have to think about this particular development. Sulaiman Muhammad Khan, spokesperson for the Congress, will be joining us, but right now we are joined by Zafar Syed, the spokesperson for the BJP government. Zafar, once again, thank you so much for talking to us and joining us. So what kind of an impact do you think this pay commission will have on inflation and, the pocket of the common man? Obviously, the taxes will definitely have to pool in to give way for 1 lakh crores of rupees, which are going to be used, to actually implement the pay commission. 0.7% of the GDP. Now, that is not a small amount. Where does the pay commission think the recovery is going to be made from? Obviously, it has to be from the general budget as well as the railway budget.
Well, this is not a new news for all of us that the impact of 7th Pay Commission will be slightly over 1 lakh crore. So it is very well known to the government when they presented the budget, and it has been captured in the budget itself, keeping in mind that the impact of the 7th Pay Commission will be 1 lakh crore, slightly over 1.02 lakh crore, and also keeping that in mind, the investments have been announced, the capital expenditure, I would say that the capital expenditure has been announced, and keeping the fiscal deficit number also in mind, that what the objective which has been set by the government for keeping the fiscal deficit number, that has also been kept in mind while planning the budget. So all these things have already been settled. Now the issue is that from where the money will come, and all these things have been already settled when the budget was announced. The issue here is that the employees, the central government employees and the pensioners will have, and congratulations to them that they will have disposable income in their hand, and that will improve the demand and the excess capacity in the system which we have at the moment. That will get consumed, that will get exhausted, and the new investment will, because that will lead to demand, that will also the excess capacity in the system will get utilized, and the new investment cycle will start. The corporate India will start investing in projects going forward. That is the big news and that will create employment, that will create additional GDP growth, and the impact on inflation will be marginal. There are people who are expecting that will be between 30 to 60 basis points, but I personally feel that given we have certain excess capacity in the system, that will not immediately impact the inflation, because we have by the time we will have capacity gets utilized, we will have the supply side, all the corporate will definitely start looking forward and start investing, and then we will be able to address the supply side constraint as well.
Okay, there are two sides to this theory. One theory is that, it will probably fuel an inflationary trend because of so much cash flow in the market. And the other side of the coin is, that it's going to lead to some growth, investment and profits. Which of the two you think is in most probability, going to emerge in the days to come?
See, inflation will not have a very severe impact on inflation. I personally feel purely because we have excess capacity in the system. So if you have an additional demand, then because the system can absorb that demand initially, and the corporate Inc. will start investing, so the additional demand will get addressed by the supply side, both by additional investment by the corporate Inc. That will get addressed. So I don't see that there will be huge gap there. If at all there will be some temporary blip on inflation, maybe 20-30 basis point, but that will come off subsequently once the supply side gets addressed.
Okay, another.
As far as growth is concerned, definitely. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Zafar, another thing that, probably stands out, is probably peculiar is the fact that, in the last 70 years, this increment is probably the lowest in terms of the increment which, the central government employees have received. Why do you think this is the case? Are the coffers of the government, shrinking on a daily basis, and the government is so strapped for cash, but that they had no choice but to bring that particular amount down to its lowest denominator in this 7th Pay Commission?
No, this is the recommendation of the Pay Commission, and the Commission has recommended it, which has been, as our Honorable Finance Minister just mentioned, that it has been accepted by the government. So the recommendation actually is made by an independent commission, so it is very unfair to comment that they have recommended only 23.5% or between 20 to 25% hike between the employees. But I personally feel, it's my personal opinion, that see the number of pensioners we have, and if you really want to control fiscal deficit, if you really want to control, if you want to have a capital expenditure, then you need to have enough cash available for capital expenditure. Otherwise, if you see the budget, on revenue side you have the targeted revenue through tax and direct and indirect taxes, and the disinvestment and the other means which we have, that is the revenue side. But if you say the expenditure side, you have a large amount of expenditure goes to meeting the pension benefits, meeting the salaries and administrative costs. So there has to be some limit, otherwise you will never be able to control deficit. You will never be able to. There has to be some meeting of minds in terms of how much fiscal deficit, and that has been a stated objective of the government, that we will maintain fiscal deficit of 3.9 and then subsequently 3.5 next year. So that objective is very much that has been kept in mind while deciding deciding the budget, as well as the commission must have taken into account that how much increment should be given. That's the independent decision of the commission, and the government has to only accept it.
Okay, Zafar, just hold on to that thought. We have a caller called Vijendra, who's giving us a call from Greater Noida. Vijendra, go ahead. What do you have to say?
Hello.
Go ahead, Vijendra. We can hear you.
Hello.
Vijendra, we can hear you. Go ahead. विजेंद्र बोलिए, आपकी आवाज आ रही है।
हेलो
विजेंद्र बोलिए, आपकी आवाज आ रही है।
सर नमस्कार। हेलो।
Okay, we probably got disconnected with Vijendra over there. Now, Zafar, coming back to you, you mentioned the financial deficit which this government is actually ruining under. Do you think, considering the fact that the fiscal deficit is something that we need to worry about, the timing of the 7th Pay Commission, do you think it could have been pushed a little further until things normalize for the government?
No, actually, this is the perfect timing. If you really ask me, I feel that given the monsoon is looking very good, and it's a dual benefits for the economy, and it's a perfect timing for announcing, because we have little bit hangover of Brexit that will also get offset because of this. Because you must understand, our economy is a consumption-led economy, it's a domestic-led economy. So any demand created within this country will only benefit and will only fuel the growth. So I think personally I feel that this timing is perfect, and it will lead to growth. Secondly, this monsoon is very good. That is also very positive for the government, for the economy.
Okay, Zafar, we'll come back to you now. Let's go across to Nagpur and Ludhiana and figure out what the people in this part of the country feel about the 7th Pay Commission and its recommendations.
एक्चुअली क्या है कि जो पहले पे कमीशन आया था उसमें 40% का फिटमेंट वेटेज था। इस बार वो फिटमेंट वेटेज कम हो गया, पर फिर भी मेरे को लगता है कि गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से जो भी एफर्ट्स हो रहे हैं सैलरी बढ़ाने में, मैं उससे सेटिस्फाई हूँ।
23% तक आप बोल रहे हैं, हमने तो अभी तक पूरा पढ़ा नहीं है। वो जब आ जाएंगे उनके सब 7th पे कमीशन का रिपोर्ट पूरा हम लोग पढ़ेंगे, तभी हम इस पे तय कर पाएंगे कि सही में हमारे फायदे के है कि नहीं। पर अगर मिल रहा है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, हमारे लिए खुशी की बात है।
सरकार ने अच्छा निर्णय लिया है ये कि वेतन आयोग को दे रहे हैं, और दूसरी चीज ये है कि हम सबका बहुत फायदा है इसमें।
ये बहुत अच्छा है, इतनी बड़ी है। बाकी अभी जो भी बाद में आएगा उसके बारे में जानकारी होगी, जो सरकार की ओपनली होगा फाइल, उसमें पता चलेगा कि ये 23.55 जो बढ़ा है किस रूप में उन्होंने बढ़ाया है।
हमें बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है भाई, अबाउट 23.55% जो इंक्रीज हुई है, और हमें हमारा जो सारा स्टाफ है वो इस पे बड़ी उम्मीदें थी उसकी, और बड़ी ईगरली वेट कर रहे थे हम जल्दी से जल्दी वो इम्प्लीमेंट हो ताकि एम्प्लॉइज़ को इसका बेनिफिट मिल सके।
मेरा यही कहना है कि ये मीडिया में ऐसा लग रहा है, ये सुनने में ऐसा आ रहा है कि इससे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज़ को बहुत ज़्यादा सैलरी बढ़ गई है, जबकि ऐसा नहीं है, क्योंकि 119% डीए तो हम पहले ही विड्रॉ कर रहे थे, जो कि अब 0 से शुरू होगा दोबारा से। तो अगर हम डिडक्शन को देखें तो हमारी होम केयरिंग सैलरी जो है वो पहले से कम होने वाली है, ना कि बढ़ने वाली है। और इन्फ्लेशन रेट क्योंकि बढ़ जाएगा तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज़ की जेब टाइट होने वाली है, इससे कोई उनको ऐसा बेनिफिट होने वाला नहीं है, जो कागजों पे तो दिख रहा है बट प्रैक्टिकली ऐसा कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होने वाला।
एक्चुअली ये जो पे कमीशन की जो रिपोर्ट है, ये आज तक जितने भी पे कमीशन आए हैं, ये 7वां पे कमीशन है, ये सबसे वर्स्ट रिपोर्ट है। जो पिछला 6th पे कमीशन था, हमारा मोर देन 50% हमारी सैलरी बढ़ी थी, और आपके मुताबिक जो न्यूज़ है आज की, ये 23.55% है। आप इसे हिसाब लगाइए जो 6th पे कमीशन की रिपोर्ट थी और जो 7th पे कमीशन की रिपोर्ट हुई, जो 50% उससे भी ज़्यादा कर दिया इन्होंने।
So a variety and a motley of reactions coming from Nagpur and Ludhiana. Right now we have a caller, Abhimanyu, who's giving us a call from Meerut. Abhimanyu, go ahead. What do you have to say?
सर मैं ये कह रहा था सर कि 6 पे कमीशन में एलडीसी की सैलरी ऑलरेडी कम थी, इसमें तो और कम हो गई।
बोलिए अभिमन्यु, बोलिए, हम सुन पा रहे हैं आपको।
हाँ सर, ये कह रहे थे कि 6 पे कमीशन में एलडीसी की सैलरी कम थी 1900 ग्रेड पे में, इसमें जो उससे भी कुछ ज्यादा खास है, 1,500-2,000 बहुत हो गया, बढ़ा ही नहीं।
Okay, well, if that's a valid point, we'll find out from Sulaiman Mohammed, spokesperson for the Congress. Sulaiman, thank you for joining us. It took a while for us to get to you. What do you think? You know, a lot of people are saying that the BJP is probably not very sure about its priorities. That's why the timing of you know, the 7th Pay Commission's recommendations implementation couldn't have been at a worse time. Do you concur with that particular theory?
You know, actually even the recommendation in the 7th Pay Commission, which was actually declared in 2013 by Dr. Manmohan Singh and the Finance Minister Mr. P. Chidambaram, and it took a while finally to have these recommendations implemented. And as in the 6th Pay Commission, which was also formed by the Congress Party, the UPA government, the Congress Party, and it has a hike of 50% in the salary, in the basic salary. Right. But this Pay Commission is given only 23% hike. So it is the lowest hike in the salaries of the government servants, of the civil servants and the other services.
But Sulaiman, my question to you was: do you concur with the timing of the implementation of this recommendation? That, in a sense, a lot of people feel that the central government is broke.
You know, the timing of this implementation, I don't know what's in the mind of the government, but right now, for past 2 years, the country is going through a, you know, in a very bad phase. The economy is not in a good condition. The inflation is very high. If you are giving a hike of 23% and the inflation is, you know, it's rising, like, you know, the rates of pulses and the vegetables, how they are going, they are touching the skyrocketing prices. And you are hiking the basic salary by only 23%. It's not enough. The BJP has to deal with that. The government has to deal with that. They have not dealt it with this properly. The fuel prices you are increasing, although from the international market you are taking the crude oil at a lesser price and selling to the people of the country at a higher price. You have to deal with all these issues. This 23% hike is not going to work. It's the lowest hike ever in 70 years.
Sulaiman, Zafar Syed, the spokesperson for BJP, is also with us. How do you think this recommendation is going to impact state governments? Do you think now they would also want a hike in their own salaries? They wouldn't want to be differentiated. They would also be looking for some avenue of growth through remuneration.
Yeah, definitely they will also look for this, because, you know, central government has given a recommendation through a pay commission and they have hiked the prices. State government will also feel so. But actually the issue is what the government at the center, which has come on the promise of good governance, on development, on everything which Mr. Modi has said that they will give a country which we have never seen before. They have to reply to the people that how they are living their life. What governance Modi government is doing, which is actually misgovernance for past 2 years.
Mr. Sulaiman, for a second.
We have to see into this perspective how the people of the country,
Zafar, you can
how the people
Sulaiman.
of the country are feeling in this
Sulaiman, Zafar wants to counter
ruled by the BJP.
I just want to ask him that he is talking about inflation. Does he know that what was the inflation in 2013, 2014 before we took over the government? Does he know that what was the headline inflation in 2013 and 2014?
Please don't manipulate. Please don't manipulate.
No. You must. No. You are talking about inflation. Do you know what was the headline inflation?
Sulaiman, we'll give you an opportunity.
It was in double digit. Inflation has, since the time our government has come, inflation is under control. It has come off almost half. It's the weighted average inflation is 4.96. You are talking about pulses. Yes, pulses has gone up. We do understand.
Okay.
The prices of pulses have slightly gone
I'll
up.
reply to
but
this.
if you take into account all the food items, then prices is very much in control. That's why the inflation has come off from 10.5% to 5.5% currently, and weighted average for last 2 years is 4.986% inflation. So don't talk about the inflation when you don't even actually know what was the inflation in 2013 when the UPA, till 2014 when the UPA was in power. Secondly, you are talking about the economy. Do you know? You understand how does the economy last two years has done? You are talking as a simply ill-informed person that the economy is not doing well. The whole world is talking about the Indian economy is doing well. And you are talking about Indian economy is not doing well. Tell me, inflation. Tell me first, inflation is under control. Fiscal deficit is under control. Current deficit is under control. Headline interest rate has come off. Headline growth number has gone up. The whole world is talking about Indian economy. If you just scan the global economy, India is the only place where people are talking about the only place where the economy, if you really want to put your money, the growth capital.
Congrats for giving yourself a good award.
Okay, Suleiman, we will let you speak. Let Zafar complete his sentence. Suleiman, we'll come back to you. Suleiman, we'll come back to you. Show some patience, Suleiman. We will come back to you. Let Zafar complete his sentence. Let this be a civil debate. Zafar, complete what you were saying.
They are sitting in opposition. I will not say the whole of opposition. The whole of opposition is actually appreciating the efforts our Honorable Prime Minister is putting. The government is doing well. The economy is doing well. Everything. In fact, let me tell you one more thing. The international rating agencies are reviewing to upgrade our rating, the country rating, purely because of the fundamental macroeconomic parameters looking so good. And if you really scan the global whether emerging economies or the developed economies or developing economies, India.
Okay, Zafar, you've made your point. Zafar, you've made your point. Zafar, you've made your point. I will now open.
And you must I must tell
Zafar,
you that
you've
Mr.
made your
Suleiman
point. You've had ample
you
opportunity and time. We have to observe the
they
margins of time that we have on the show. Zafar, we'll come back to you. Suleiman, I will let you respond to that.
We would have had a better picture.
Zafar, we will come back to you. Zafar, we will come back to you. You've made your point. You had ample amount of time. I want Suleiman to come in now. Suleiman is saying that the economy is not doing well, whereas Zafar has picked up every point that you have made, Suleiman, and turned it into tatters. How do you respond to that?
No, it's not so. Now let me reply. Now these figures, manipulation and jugglery, it's it's an old habit of Bharatiya Janata Party and their spokesperson. They manipulate figures and tell on the news channels. Actually, it's not the condition at the ground.
We are talking
like
about
the GDP growth rate, the formula with the. Now let me reply to it.
Zafar, let him make his point. Zafar, let him make his point. We will come back to you for a retort. Let him make his point.
The GDP growth rate
is a number which is accepted by the rating agencies.
The GDP growth rate with the BJP government,
number which is accepted by World Bank, and this gentleman is saying.
Let me tell you the numbers.
What is this nonsense?
Okay,
Let
Zafar,
me also give me your numbers.
We cannot conduct
the independent
an honest
people have given, neutral
and
people
an
have
informative debate in this cacophony. Zafar, I would request you to let Suleiman, make his point. Then I will let you respond to that. It's a humble request. Zafar, you've had more time. You've had more time than Suleiman. He joined the debate a little later than you did. Let Suleiman make his point, Zafar. We will come back to you. Let's not politicize something which does not need to be politicized. Suleiman, go ahead. Suleiman, go ahead.
I am just saying the figures calculation of the GDP growth rate which the BJP government has given for this financial year which has ended, they have given 7.9%. But actually the formula for that calculation was completely wrong. The independent economists have given that GDP growth rate is actually 5.5%. So actually they manipulate facts. They manipulate inflation rate. They manipulate different things. Actually, Zafar Saab, you have to reply. You don't have to tell the figures. You don't have to tell the figures. You have to go and see at the ground. People are dying in Marathwada. 40% of the country is going under the drought. They are facing the drought, worst drought. 33 crore people. every day in Marathwada,
So
Maharashtra,
may I ask you, Mr.
9
Suleiman,
farmers committed
what
suicide
was
in
your government was
2015.
there for
It is the
10
Rajya
years
Sabha data.
in
You have to- no, let me
Maharashtra?
complete.
What
You
you had
have
done
to-
for
no,
what you had done for
you are
those
closing your eyes.
those regions?
You are seeing the
Did
other
you do
way.
anything for the
You are
irrigation
actually not
project?
seeing what the
It is
people are
this
saying.
government in this
People are finding it
gentlemen,
difficult to
just
buy.
hold your horses. We have a
vegetables
caller. We have
and
Apu
produce.
Chaudhary who's giving us a
And
call
we have
from
allocated
Lakshadweep.
funds for
Economy is being
irrigation.
appreciated all around the world.
Apu, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, Apu, go ahead. I can hear you. Make your point. Okay, we have another caller, Jagdish, who's
Yes,
giving us a
please.
call. Jagdish, go ahead.
Sir, today we heard this 7th Pay Commission recommendation accepted by the government. Hello.
Go ahead, Jagdish. We can hear
Sir.
you loud and clear. Go ahead. Keep
Sir,
speaking.
Pensioner, how will calculate that? How much pension increase? Pension कितना fitment table है? Sir, pension कितना बढ़ गया? इसके लिए क्या formula है?
Okay, I will actually let Zafar Syed respond to that because he is a part of the current government. Zafar, a caller wants to know that how do you come, how is the multiplier determined which actually
He tells the
decides
formula
that
which
how
will,
much
look
pension
very
should be
green and,
increased?
very rosy. Zafar will tell a formula which will look very rosy.
See,
Zafar, just
so
ignore
forget
that
about
and go
formula
ahead.
and all,
Go
but
ahead with
let
what
me
I
tell
asked
you one
you.
very simple thing.
Right.
No, simple thing that as Honorable Finance Minister just before your program he was answering all this press person. The impact, the benefits to pensioners will range from 20 to 25%. Depending on the formula which will be used for each number of years they have they had worked with the government. So the actual formula I will not be able to explain to you, but all I am saying that it will positive impact will be on their pension amount will be between 20 to 25%.
Okay,
But
Suleiman,
Zafar, this is the
Suleiman,
lowest hike.
do you
Zafar,
think,
you have to
well,
reply
actually
to
it's a
this.
no-brainer,
This is the
Suleiman,
lowest
that I'm going
hike
to ask
ever.
you. Suleiman, hear me out.
Between
Suleiman,
20
hear me out.
25%. So I said lowest will be 20, maximum will be 25.
Okay, Suleiman, let me come back to you. Do you think,
in the
Pay
6th Pay Commission there was a hike
Suleiman,
of more
let
than
me ask you a
50%.
question. Let me ask you a
This is
question.
the lowest hike ever which has been done.
Suleiman, we're running out of time. Let's get something substantial in this debate. Do you think the 7th Pay Commission's recommendations have been judicious to all parties? For instance, the army is always feeling that they are short-changed because, a Babu in Siachen and a soldier in Siachen, the disparity between their income is so large, but the hazard, the dangers to their job are almost, points on a bipolar scale. So you really think that the Pay Commission has been judicious in awarding these recommendations, or have they shortchanged a few people?
No, they have not been, people in this era when the inflation is so high, people need money and people were expecting a larger hike and they have to look into the service sector properly. And this army issue, the military services issue, what the BJP government has done, we all know about the one rank one pension which was announced by the Congress government, not implemented properly by them, and this hike is not substantial. And people have
why didn't you implement it at that time?
Zafar and Suleiman,
why did you announce and left it?
We will get into this debate at another day, at another time, at another opportunity.
What did you do?
Zafar and Suleiman, we'll have to end the show. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we will continue this debate on another day. Thank you for joining us and being part of this show. That's all we have on current issues. We'll see you tomorrow. Keep watching News World India. Thank you.